Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create an amortization table from scratch in Excel. And then I'm going to show you also how to use conditional formatting to make your amortization table look nice no matter how many payments that you're using for it. So we're just going to start here with a blank workbook in Excel. And we're going to put the terms of our loan that we're looking at in the top part of our worksheet here. So we're going to start off with the principal amount. So this would be the total amount of our loan, the amount of the loan that we're taking out here. In the next cell down, we're going to put in the number of payments. In the next cell down, we're going to put the payments per year. Then we're going to put in the annual percentage rate. So this would be the nominal rate or the APR that is advertised usually by the bank. And then we're going to put in the payment. And we're going to use the payment function in Excel to calculate that payment. So I'm just going to start here by starting with kind of a regular car loan, and our principal amount for that might be, let's say, $25,000. Then I'll format this for a dollar amount here. The number of payments we'll say is 48, so we're going to have 48 monthly payments. So 4 years worth of payments, and the payments per year would be 12, so we have monthly payments there. We'll say the annual percentage rate is 7%. And we can also format that to be a percentage up here. And then we're going to use the payment function, or equals PMT, in Excel to calculate our payment. So I put in equals PMT, and then in parentheses, the first one is the rate. Our rate's going to be 7%, but we want to divide that by the number of payments per year to get our periodic rate or our monthly rate. NPER stands for number of periods. That's going to be our number of payments. Our present value is our loan amount. And I'm going to make this negative because I want the payment to be a positive number. So I'm going to put in negative and then the principal amount there. The last two items are the future value and the type. So in our amortization table, we're going to assume that we're making payments until the loan is paid off. So in this case, we would just have a 0. We're also going to assume that payments are made at the end of the period rather than at the beginning of the period. And so I'm going to just leave out those last two variables and close out these parentheses here. And that's going to give us our payment on that loan of $598.66. I want to do a few things here before I set up the amortization table itself. I want to name the principal amount. So up here, I'm going to name this cell principal. I'm going to name the payments per year up in the name cell here, PPY. The annual percentage rate, I'm going to name I rate for interest rate. And then finally, the payment cell B6 here, I'm going to name payment, P-A-Y-M-E-N-T. Don't name this PMT because that's a function in Excel, and Excel doesn't like it when you do that. So I'm just going to name it payment. In cell A8, I'm going to put the payment number because we could have a monthly payment, we could have an annual payment, we could have a semi-annual payment, a quarterly payment. So I don't want to put like the month in or something like that because that might change based on the loan. And then I'm going to number this to 360. The idea being that the longest loan I'm probably going to have out there is a 30-year monthly loan. That might look something like a conventional 30-year mortgage. If you think you might have a situation that calls for more, Payments than that certainly add more, but for me, I rarely see any loans that are more than 360 payments. So I'm just going to number this out to 360. Later on, when we do the conditional formatting, we'll make anything longer than what we need just disappear, so it won't be visible. So I've created my 360 monthly payments there. In the next column, I'm going to put in the beginning principal. So this is going to be the beginning principal at the time of that payment. The next column, I'm going to put in the payment amount. The next column, I'm going to put in the interest paid. The next column, I'm going to put in the principal paid. And then finally, I'm going to put in the ending principal. And so this would be the ending principal for the time period of that payment. We're going to complete 2 rows here, and then we can drag it down the rest of the way because the formulas we're going to put in the second row will continue on through the life of the loan. So our beginning principal here is going to be equal to our original principal amount. So it's just that principal number there. And I can format that to make it look nicer. The payment is just going to be equal to the payment amount. And you could certainly just type in equals payment here to get that amount. The interest paid. So for the interest paid, we want to calculate the interest that accrues on the beginning principal for the month for that entire month. Because remember, these payments are made at the end of the period. So for this first monthly payment, we're going to have $25,000, and it's going to accrue interest for 1 month. And then this payment's going to be applied against that principal. So I'm going to put in here equals. And I want to put the beginning principal in column B multiplied by the interest rate, and that number, I'm going to put this in parentheses here, I rate divided by PPY. Now, it's useful here that I've already named these cells because as I drag this down and fill it in, I want it to continue to reference these values in B4 and B5. And if I hadn't named these, I'd have to lock the cells into place, or if when I pulled this down to fill it in, it would refer to the incorrect cells. So this way, naming those cells allows me just to type it in once, and then I can pull it down. So what this is saying is that on that $25,000 principal for the first month, it's going to incur $145.83 worth of interest. So you're going to have to pay that. And the remaining portion of that payment is what's going to go to pay down the principal on your loan. So the principal paid is $452.82, and again, the formula there is the payment minus the interest paid. And then our ending principal is equal to our beginning principal minus our principal paid. So that's our first row. Now our second row is going to look a little bit different because we're going to start the beginning principal not with the principal amount of the loan, but the ending principal at the time of the previous payment. So I'm going to set that equal to F9 in this case. And then everything else, actually, you can just pull down. Looks like that. I'm just going to double check here. This is equal to the payment right up here. So that's, again, referring back to the payment I calculated before. You might notice the interest paid is a little bit less. So we expect that because we have a lower amount of principal. And our principal paid goes up because less of our payment is going towards the principal amount. Once I fill that second row in, I can grab this. I'm going to drag it down for all 360 payments. It's going to look bad because it's going to look like this. This is pretty ugly. If you continued to make that payment for 360 payments or 30 years, you would get this outcome. We wouldn't want this outcome. Once the loan is paid off, we want it done. Okay, so you can see here, 48 months, that's our original number of payments. It pays it off to 0, which is exactly what we want to see. But what we also don't want to see is this additional information below it. So I'm going to show you now how to format your cells here in order to get to that outcome where we don't see all these numbers past that 0 amount. So what I'm going to do is highlight rows A through F below at row 9 and below. So I'm going to drag that down all the way. And then I'm going to go up here to the Home tab. So make sure you have that highlighted. Oh, sorry. And then I want to go to the conditional formatting. So I'm going to open this, and I want to make a new rule. So where it says use a formula to determine which cells to format, I'm going to select that. And it says format values where this formula is true. So what I want to say is if the value in the payment number is greater than the number of payments, I want everything in that row to be, the font color to be white. So we can't see it on here. And if you're using a different color spreadsheet or different color font or different highlighting, you're going to want the font to match whatever the background color is. And that way it just makes it disappear. So format the values where this is true. We want to put in here equals and then a $sign. And then I'm going to put in A. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling Excel to look in column A. So for cell C9, it's going to look in column A to see what the value is. Okay. So I'm going to, because I'm starting in row 9, I'm going to put A9 is greater than the number of payments. And you can see here it puts $signs in front of the B and the 3, so it locks it in. So it's going to compare to this cell in every instance. Okay. So where the value in column A is greater than the number of payments, here's what we want to do. We want to format this. I'm going to go to Font. And then I want to change the color of the font. So I'm going to go to color here. I'm going to say, make the color of that font white. Okay. And when I'm going to press OK here. I'm going to press OK again. So let's take a look at what happened. So you can see here at cell 48, or excuse me, payment 48, the format, the rest of the payments just disappear, which is what we want. So let me kind of demonstrate this a little bit. I'm going to change my number of payments from 48 to 36 to go to a 3-year loan. Put that in, I put in 36. It changes the payment amount. It goes up as we would expect because we're making fewer payments, and it cuts off the amortization table at 36. Let's say we're taking out a big conventional mortgage for 360 payments for 30 years. That's going to be, let's say, $200,000. And I want 360 payments, so 30 years of monthly payments, and I get a payment amount of $1,330.60. You might want to reformat that there. And if I scroll down all the way here, way down here, it pays off where the ending principal is 0, which is exactly what I want to see. What I also want you to see here is what's going on with your interest payment and your principal payment in an amortized loan. As you pay off the principal, the amount of interest paid goes down. The amount of principal paid towards the loan goes up. And that's really kind of how an amortized loan works. When I worked in banking, I would get frequent requests from customers for an Excel table like this. Frequently, what they want to see is, after 5 years, let's say, of a commercial loan, where would they be on the principal? It helped them for the purposes of budgeting and forecasting, so they could see where they would be at on different liabilities over time. So that's what I have for you on creating an amortization table and formatting that table. If you have any questions, please let me know.